see dope people.
Welcome back to another episode of Dope People, where we talk to dope people. My name is Hayden Green. I am Brooklyn's favorite polymath, and I will be your host today. And I hope you are happy with that because we're going to have a great conversation with our guest today. And for those of you who are not familiar with the term dope, it's a throwback to the 80s and 90s. It just simply means something that's amazing, something that's interesting, something that you admire, right? So our people on here have done some stuff that I find interesting. So they are dope people, and I am looking forward to talking to today's guest. His name is Will Dennis. Ladies and gentlemen, well, clap it up for Will Dennis on the show. Will, how you doing?
I'm good, man. It's a beautiful Saturday morning here in Brooklyn. I'm just happy to be here and honored to be a guest on this podcast. So,
absolutely. You got your dad gang hat on. I wore my dad shirt for you. Will is a brand new dad. How's it feel to be among the fraternity of fathers?
Man, Neo life is crazy, man. Just learning how me and my wife can now coexist. And now this new wrinkle of going back to work with an 11-week-old and trying to figure that out, figuring out possible babysitting. But it's been a great journey so far. I spent 10 weeks on leave, so it was a chance for us to bond and see him grow. So it's really great thus far. And I love the tribe around us, always giving us advice, like yourself, giving us advice, telling us what to do. I know I have folks I reach out to for questions, and I think that means a lot. It really does take a village. So I've been excited during this journey and looking forward to seeing how he grows and how people around us grow around him.
Absolutely. That's awesome. All right. So, well, the first thing that we do on this podcast is that I ask you, who do you consider to be dope? And that's somebody that you've either met one time or somebody that you know. It gives me a kind of litmus test as how you understand the term dope. So, who do you consider to be dope?
You know, when thinking about this, I was thinking long and hard about who are people that I have crossed paths with in my life who are just like, when I think about dope, I think about the things that they do, how they perceived, and how they reach others. And to be honest, the dopest person I've met and known is you, man. You and your whole family. I think just the way I've known you since before you had kids, right? And just seeing you were my mentor in poetry, right? You were Blue Line, right? So seeing that transition to fatherhood, to see how dope your wife is and how great you have raised your daughters, it's really admirable to see the things that you're doing. Especially being a Black family in Brooklyn, right? Like we're no short of gentrification, and it's admirable that you was able to buy two houses during this time in your time in Brooklyn, which is something that's super admirable, especially in a time where, like, I'm thinking about buying a house, and chances are I won't be in Brooklyn. So to think about your journey, where you've come from, and how great your daughters have grown up thus far. To the family dynamic that you have, not to mention balancing the several different opportunities you've had, the several different entrepreneur opportunities you've had. I think it's really something that I look up to.
You know, I created this podcast, and I tell people, it's like, hey, listen, when people tell you things, just let it wash over you and accept it. And so now I have to take my own advice, and I appreciate that. We move through this world just trying to make it to the next day and trying to leave a mark, and to make sure that one of the best things that I ever saw about how you live your life is there was this whole thing about the dash on people's tombstones. So you see people born in 19 or whatever and died 19 whatever, and there's a dash in between those 2 days. And that dash, that little line, encompasses everything that they've done on this earth, right? And the speaker said, your job is to live up to that dash. Your job is to make that dash as fulfilling as possible. Um, and that's all I do, right? Like I try my best to just get out there and live my authentic life. And for those people who find that engaging and for those people who find that enriching, then it's wonderful. And for those that didn't, there's another day that I can impress them in a different way. So I'm touched that you chose me. For the record, I did not pay Will to come on here and say that.
No, it's iron sharpens iron, and to be honest, I had the same feeling of, I would say, imposter syndrome when you asked me to be on this show, right? We're so hustle bustle, we're so heads down that we don't look up, look left and right, and see where we are now and where we could have been and where we came from. So to have someone tap you on the shoulder and give you that affirmation, it does mean a lot, and it's the cog that helps us continue.
Thank you.
Right.
I appreciate that. All right. Well, now's my chance to tell you what I think is dope about you. And you're wearing a Taylor Morrison Brown shirt, which is a nod to the fraternity that we both are part of, Phi Beta Sigma. And you're an active part of our chapter, the Brooklyn Sigmas. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm actually going to talk about something that you do that you're constantly putting out there. And I'm like, this is really, really dope. And it makes me want to get involved as well. It's the work that you do with 100 Black men. You're a mentor with 100 Black men for their youth group. And I think that anytime we take the time to really give back to the people who are coming behind us, it is God's work. And there is so much that anybody who is coming up can learn from you. The fact that you take the time out, and I know you're busy. Like, I know you're busy, and it is important to me that I see that you are giving to these young men, that they see a Black man moving forward. And so it's I think that's really, really, really dope, and it's something that I admire about you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's the work that we have to do as men, as professionals, right? We didn't get to where we got to alone, right? Someone gave us the kick to get out of our circumstances and get out of our environment. I grew up in the Bronx in a single parent household, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't a product of my environment, right? And I had mentors, and I knew when the time came and I was in the right professional, financial, even just educational and emotional mindset that I can give back to others. So again, it's something that I'm passionate about. I've been doing this program for the past 12 years. What time flies? And who knows how long I'll keep it on for, but it's something that I do look forward to every single year. So I thank you for that. That does mean a lot.
And I don't know if it has happened to you yet. Somewhere down the line, somebody's going to walk up to you and tell you that you changed their life, that you were the reason that they are where they are, and you won't remember that person, right? And you will, and what will happen is that you will recognize in that moment that all you have to do in this world is be your authentic self, and somebody is watching you. Somebody is using that as the example that they need in order to move forward. And it may be people that are younger than you, or maybe some old folks like me. Like when you went on your weight loss journey, I was like, oh, all right. Well, I was out there doing it. I got to get out there and do it. I gotta do something. Somebody's always watching you, and you're a dope person. So that's always going to be a great example for a lot of people. So somebody's going to walk up to you someday and be like, "You changed my entire life," and you'll be like, "I don't remember doing anything."
Yeah, I haven't had that yet, but
it's coming.
Hey, when it comes, I'll try to go through my mental Rolodex. I think you're right. I think we cross paths with so many people, and it's hard to really keep up. I mean, I'm sure you've done the same thing where someone comes up to you, "Hey, Hayden," you're like, "Hey," and then you walk past, you're like, "I don't know who that person is," or "I don't remember who that person is," or "I don't remember that person's name." But that goes to the breadth of how we are not only perceived, but the the mark that we leave on people.
Absolutely.
And that's the goal. To your point about that dash, is like leaving your mark on the world without leaving a scratch. That's the goal, right? Not only for your family and your legacy, but to others as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to come back, and we're going to talk about what you do that makes you dope. You ready for that?
I'm ready.
All right. We'll be right back. And we are back with Dope People. My dope person today is Will Dennis. We've been chopping it up. Will's a brand new dad, a brother of Phi Beta Sigma, also a project manager. What is the full term of the thing that you do? You know, nobody ever understands when you explain it, right?
Yeah, so I am a project manager at KPMG, which is one of the big four accounting firms. I work in their advisory practice. The full name of the group that I work for is called Transformation Delivery. So we work with different sectors across different industries on large scale transformations, whether it's from a program management perspective, which is the group that I'm in, or from a change management perspective, or even a design component. Again, I'm in project management, and I'm currently on a project with a telecommunications company helping to revamp their commissions-based platform from a technology perspective. So,
and all of that went in here. All of that went in here. We're like,
yeah, we do project work. So what I'm doing now is not what I did a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, and this is why I love the art of consulting. It's you touch different industries, touch different cultures, touch different people, and you learn different skills along the way.
Absolutely. I have a couple of friends who are project managers. It's like, I don't know what y'all do. All right. So
glorified babysitters, man.
Well, Will, here's the opportunity for you to tell me what it is that you do that's dope. And it could be, something that is on a regular basis. Like we talked about the work that you do with 100 Black men, and feel free to use that as adaptive if that's what it is. Or it could be a one-time thing. It's like, I went to the beach and I helped to put a beached whale back into the ocean. Like, what dope thing, what makes you dope, my friend?
And it's hard, right? It's hard for someone that's I hate talking about myself, but I do want to at least provide this platform to talk about the program. As Hayden said, I'm a member of the 100 Black Men. I've been a member for going on 14 years now. I am the co-chair for their Junior 100 program. So the Junior 100 program is a 17-week program with a hybrid curriculum of not only college readiness discussions, but also career readiness and entrepreneurship discussions. We try to teach these young men what high schools don't. So we teach financial literacy, communication with confidence, resume writing, dining etiquette, along with financial aid, applying for scholarships, pitfalls to college. But our goal is to make sure that when they get to college and beyond, or if college is not for them and they go in the entrepreneurial route, that they have some of those skills and techniques that they can use as a way to build on it. I'm trying to find the right word, and I'm sure you can edit this out. To be a catalyst to their career goals and progressions. Last year or this past year, we had 27 students across various high schools in New York and New Jersey. We have our finale barbecue in September, and then November we start taking interviews again to start the program in January. I run it with fellow frater Phil Britton, who's new chapter, and I have an amazing team with program coordinator Nikki Amos, who is the glue that runs the program. Us three have been working together since 2020, but me and Phil have been working together since the program has started. I joined the program just as a mentor, just coming to the program and meeting the kids and having a mentor. And then I was asked to be co-chair, and something I really look forward to as it pertains to creating the curriculum, trying to find guest speakers. We try to introduce them to different career paths. So I try to utilize my Rolodex of people that are dope to come speak to the students about their career path, how they got there, and giving them some words of wisdom. Hayden, you might be getting a call soon.
At the service, whenever you're ready.
And throughout the course of the 11 years I've been doing the program, we've had over 350 students in the program. 98% of them have received college scholarships. 100% of them have graduated from college. Several of them are in grad programs. One just finished med school. I know one of my scholars is in consulting. He works for EY. So it's great not only seeing how we can influence them over those 17 weeks, but when they join the program, we always say that, the relationship doesn't end there. So it's great seeing how they progress into the future leaders of tomorrow and even the current leaders of today. The program used to be co-ed. It's now just males, but the same passion applies to that program.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Well, thank you so much for your work that you do there, and also with the work that you do with our organization as well, and just throughout life. Like, I see you walk through the world, and I see you living your authentic life, and that's really important. So we end every show with a dope moment in history, and today's dope moment is we're going to talk about the first Black man to become a lawyer, and his name was John Mercer Langston. And he became a lawyer in Ohio, and then he became one of the first elected officials in that state, and this is back in 1854. But what's really dope about that is that he is the great uncle to well, you probably won't be able to guess, but it's right there in his last name. He is the great uncle to Langston Hughes. So it's right. So that interconnectivity, Langston Hughes is named after his great uncle, who was the first Black lawyer in the United States. And I find that to be pretty dope. So
that is very dope.
So we love ending on those dope moments in history. Will, I want to thank you so much for connecting with me. If people want to find you or find information about the program, where can they find it?
Sure. So if you want to follow me on all platforms, Poetic Sigma on all platforms. If you want to learn more about the Junior 100, ohbm.org. You can go in there and learn more about just the organization, but we have the mentoring tab to learn more about the Junior 100, and for you to send an interest form to those that may be interested in the program. And if you would like me to contact you directly to talk more about the program, I'm happy to do so. So, Hayden, thank you so much for inviting me to this. I think this was very apropos dope, the magic word, but I do think this is a great opportunity for other people to see the good that people are doing in the world that may not be, that may not put themselves out there on social media or may not have that platform to do so. So I really thank you for creating these spaces for us to chat and powwow and, iron sharpens iron. So it's great to just hear from you and learn from you. And I can't wait to see how the podcast progresses and see other dope individuals who we can possibly connect with and we can build that network of just dopeness.
Absolutely. And if you do know whether it's you, Will, or anybody who is supposed to be on the podcast that I should be interviewing, please contact me. In the meantime, like and subscribe right here on this particular podcast. And we will put all of Will's information at the end so that if you need to contact him, you can catch up with him. Until then, we will catch you next week. And until that time, go forth and be dope.